How do you stop a war when nobody trusts anyone? There is a war coming. Not a proxy conflict, not a regional skirmish, a direct military confrontation between the United States, Israel, and Iran, with consequences that would reach every economy, every supply chain, every household on this planet. And right now, there is no one in the room trying to stop it. No one that all three parties will receive. No one with clean hands. No one that Tehran will actually trust. Except one person, and nobody is talking about him. This is Ivan Tayyip. Stay ahead. Before I name the person, you need to understand what failure looks like. Because most coverage is still framing this as a Middle East story. It is not. If the Strait of Hormuz closes, even for 72 hours, global LNG markets seize. Helium supply, critical for semiconductor manufacturing, stops flowing. South Korea and Taiwan, which together produce 70% of the world's advanced chips, face a supply chain rupture that cascades into every device, every data center, every AI model on Earth. Within weeks. We are not talking about higher petrol prices. We are talking about a civilizational economic shock, the kind of disruption that resets decades of technological progress in a matter of months. And the people who are supposed to prevent this? The G7 is split. The UN Security Council is paralyzed by vetoes. The usual back-channel brokers, Qatar, Oman, don't have the weight to move Washington or Tel Aviv. America is not a neutral party. It is a declared combatant and financial backer of one side. There is a gap, a vast, dangerous gap between where we are and where we need to be. Someone needs to stand in it. Pedro Sánchez, Prime Minister of Spain since 2018, NATO member state leader, not a pacifist, not a dissident. A sitting head of government inside the Western alliance who has, systematically and consistently, broken with that alliance on this specific conflict. In May 2024, Spain formally recognized the State of Palestine. Not as rhetoric, as a legal act coordinated with Norway and Ireland. Washington expressed displeasure. Sánchez did not walk it back. He called for a ceasefire in Gaza before it was the European position. He described Israeli military conduct in terms that most of his counterparts refused to use, on the record, at international summits. Here is the thing about trust in geopolitics. You cannot manufacture it during a crisis. You can only spend what you have already built. Sánchez has been building it for 2 years, under sustained pressure, without blinking. The Arab world has noticed, and more importantly, Tehran has noticed. Consistency under pressure is the only credible proxy for trustworthiness in high-stakes diplomacy. Now I need to say something uncomfortable, something most Western commentators will not say. But it is factually true. Iran has been attacked twice during active negotiations. First, in 2018, while the JCPOA nuclear deal was in force and Iran was in compliance, the United States unilaterally withdrew. Washington walked away. Second, in April 2024, while back-channel ceasefire communications were reportedly live, Israel launched direct strikes on Iranian soil, while diplomacy was ongoing. Put yourself in Tehran's position for one moment. Every time you open the door to negotiation, someone fires through the window. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Iran's distrust of Western-led diplomacy is not irrational. It is evidence-based. And any mediator who walks into a room in Tehran without acknowledging that history will be dismissed before they finish their opening statement. Sánchez can say it. He has effectively already said it, in different contexts. His public record is unambiguous. That is what makes him receivable in Tehran. This is where this story connects directly to what this channel covers. Because this war is not only about oil and missiles, it is about chips. It is about who controls the computational infrastructure of the next 50 years. The sanctions regime against Iran is partly a technology exclusion regime. It is designed to keep Iran cut off from advanced semiconductors and AI tooling. That exclusion is why the stakes are existential for Tehran. And here is what makes Sánchez different. Spain hosted Europe's first AI safety summit. His government has engaged with AI governance at the highest level. He understands that the next phase of this conflict will be fought as much in the semiconductor domain as in the military domain. A mediation process that uses AI-assisted secure communications, that models escalation risk in real time. These tools exist, but you need a convener who understands them and who has the institutional credibility to use them without either side treating them as a surveillance mechanism. Sanchez is that convener. This is not science fiction. It is the most achievable diplomatic architecture currently on the table. Let me be direct about the alternative. The world has been here before. In 1914, a regional crisis cascaded into a war nobody wanted. They stumbled into it, not because they were irrational, but because there was no trusted voice that all sides would receive. No one to stand in the gap. The gap exists today. It is wider than it has been in 40 years, and the window to fill it is not months, it is weeks. The question is not whether Pedro Sánchez wants to be that person. It is whether the world decides that matters before it no longer can. 1 full second of silence. No single person saves the world. But in this crisis, at this moment, one man has built the only currency that diplomacy actually runs on. Trust. Not because he is perfect, because he was consistent when it cost him something. And in geopolitics, that is almost impossibly rare. If this made you think, share it. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. This is Ivan Taik. Stay ahead.